Hello, spiritual Barbies, spiritual Kens. It's Gabrielle Celeste. Welcome to one of the last few episodes of 2025. I think it's actually so interesting that we're here at the end of this year. This year just went by so quickly at what feels like warp speed, and we're just out here ritualizing and closing out this whole month. Hi, Bree. Thanks for being such a champ and not only literally recording with me the Sunday before this comes out, but literally turning around and editing it as well.
Hi, guys. And it's GSD, Gabs. GSD.
What's that?
Get shit done.
Okay, FTB?
Fuck that bitch.
Okay,
gosh.
so if you're tuning in, you guys, on YouTube, I straight up was like, oh fuck, I still have my eye patches on. I was like, oh whatever, I don't care, I'm gonna keep them on until they like fully dry out.
It's fine.
It's fine. Who gives a fuck?
It's self-care Sunday.
Yeah. And so after this, full disclosure, we're gonna go on a bike ride. We are a family of cyclists and on wheels.
We are. Even my little son has one too. It's pretty cute.
It's pretty cute. So, Brianna, let's do a quick check-in before we let the audience know what we're talking about today. Because this episode and the next episode, I feel like, are very special. And then we're just going to keep it rolling with guests and just bringing in the new year and all of that. But yeah, what's been going on with you?
I am in my ovulation cycle right now, so I'm fucking feral.
I'm sure your husband loves that.
Yep, no babies for me right now, though. I got all 12 periods this year. If you guys are trying to have a kid, I sprinkle dust onto you. If you are not having a kid, I sprinkle dust onto you. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm just chilling.
She's just chilling. Okay, well, go listen to the episode from last week because I let it rip. Yeah, I don't know. 2025 has been interesting. So one of the things that came to me, I was like, oh, this is like an episode you could speak about because I'm going to do an Instagram post on like signs you're ascending. But one of the things I haven't really talked about is like what I've done to really develop my intuition. And I mean, we're officially halfway through the 2020s, which I think is so crazy. I'm like the 20s decade. And so I'm like, okay, let's recap what I basically have done since 2018 to get to this point.
That's probably a lot. Damn, we're already in the 20s? That's
the second half of the 20s.
Yuck. We're officially in the late 20s.
Late 20s. So I recently hit 650 plus intuitive readings, which is fucking crazy. And you have to also understand, guys, like I was working 3 to 4 jobs for a good 4-year period, all of while I was building like the early stages of my business while she was an infant. So I definitely think I'm going to be at 600 by the time I hit April of 2026, which will officially be 4 years of my business, 3 years of the podcast. And then I think at that point, I'll have been reading professionally for like 5 years because I read for free for 1 year before, which I've said a couple times. And I was like, okay, let's just do an episode on what I did to get to this point. And I'm so grateful for this part of my corporate life because what I did when I was in corporate is, I'm basically an auditor and I wrote everything down. So here's a business tip to the many intuitive business owners, the beautiful psychics that listen to our show. Hi, ladies and men, but mostly ladies, because that's pretty much our dominant audience. Write out what you've done in your business, SOPs, milestones, all of it. Document it somewhere, please, because you can turn this into a business idea later. And I would say that I have been reading energy my whole life. I just didn't have the language for it, but consciously I started it in 2019, or at least prepared for it. And sometimes I think to myself, like, damn, Gabby, why aren't you further along in your business than you maybe thought you would be at this point? And I just need to stop because, again, like, I think, Brie, I don't know if maybe you can like jog my memory here, but I was working, so like 1, 2, 3, because I was definitely training fitness classes at one point. I was working my corporate job and I was doing readings and all of that and building my business on the side. And I did that for like a good year, 2 to 3 years. I wasn't teaching fitness classes at that point, but like I'd always had something like on the side. And what I had done while I was teaching fitness classes, teaching all women, which I purposely did for a lot of different reasons. But one of the energetic reason for it was that I knew it was gonna be good karma for me because working with women is just a big part of what I'm supposed to do in this lifetime. All of the money that I made during that time, that's the money I used to start Agua.
Yeah, I think you were doing that for like 2 years, now that I think about it.
Yeah, I was just like, "Damn," and then I thought about, like, as I was preparing for this episode, I was like, "Gab, you need to stop," and no one can be more critical of me than I am myself, like, I truly am my worst enemy in that regard, but then it's like, "Gabby, like, you literally did not stop working, like, nonstop. All you did was do that for forever, but, like, really for 4 years." And, I was thinking back to 2025, the year 9, year of endings. I'm in a personal year 1, but I'm still really feeling the energy of the collective being in a year 9. And I think I got pushed into my business full time this year where it's like, okay, like you're ready. You have all of the skill sets underneath you and the training that you've had in the different jobs that you've had, like kind of put it to use now. And I'm very excited to see what I'm going to put out in 2026. And I think it's just like this episode's not going to be a lot, but I do think it'll be really helpful. And I think if we go year by year, you'll also see like, okay, there's a lot more basic practical examples than one would think and consider. And it's certainly something everyone who is listening can implement into their practice if they're looking to develop their intuition as well. So this is more from like the development of intuition, not necessarily from the business standpoint, although we can totally do an episode on that. And you will also you're going to see a little bit of how like the business was interwoven throughout the examples that we're about to discuss. So, how does that sound?
Sounds like a lot of big words that you use, but I got the drift, so
Okay. As we share this, let me just caveat and say that in my gene keys, so your gene keys pretty much like represent and describe your psyche and they give words and language to that. My shadow in my gene keys is being an extremist and being rigid. So anything that I do, I'm going to take it to like the extreme. So it's like, oh, like I'm only required to study, I don't know, like 3 hours a day. Bitch, I'm doing 6. I'm like taking it to the full extreme and it's not healthy sometimes. And it's not healthy because it becomes imbalanced. And I think as we're going through these examples, you're going to see how I paid the price as well. But the trade-off of this is that the gifts that you earn, they're your own. Like once you become conscious and continue to grow from an intuitive perspective, you can never go backwards. So it's almost kind of like be careful what you wish for, be very mindful of what you're getting yourself into, but also know that this type of growth that you find by going inward, you can't buy. And the only way that you're going to find it is by doing this type of work.
yeah, I remember always telling you, like, "Don't burn yourself out. Don't overwork yourself." Like, I can't tell you how many times I told you, like, "You're gonna do this, like, it's a lot. Make sure you don't burn yourself out."
100%. And I think that's actually, I will say, you and our family, our entire family, no, literally our entire family, I would say within our immediate circle, you're the only one that has like a really good balance with that.
Oh, yeah, I think I've always had a really good balance with that. I work is just to get me to pay my bills. Literally, that's how I see it.
Yeah. I think we could all learn from the Sag in this family.
I
I
also try not to bring work home either too, because I
Yeah.
did that once and it's not good.
Yeah.
It's not good for your mentals. It's not good for mental, physical, all of the above. Like it's not good for you.
Yeah.
Once you clock out, like you're done. Like if
I
you
also
try and reach me after my work hours, get fucked. Nope.
get fucked. Well, I also think too, like we all really do that, but I think I picked up, sorry dad, love you. It's okay, he doesn't listen to this episode, but he's literally like the most requested guest we've had on the show, like to return. But I totally took after dad in that regard. Totally did.
Mom too. Mom is
Yeah.
both of our parents are such hard workers. All, even our stepdad, they're all hard workers. Like
Yeah.
we have a great foundation as to like being a hard worker. Like if we want something, guess what? We're gonna go out and get it ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we're not gonna ask for help. We're not gonna do any of that. Like we are gonna do it ourselves and we are gonna put everything we can into that.
Yeah. I don't know if this was actually words that were exchanged between your husband and dad, but dad said something to the effect of like Tyler saying to him, like, I knew I was marrying into a working family. So like I knew I had to flex and show up. And he certainly has. But I also think and this isn't, it's more of an observation, it's not a judgment. his background, where he came from, very much like the hard worker, one of the hard workers, one of the two within his family.
Oh, absolutely. I honestly, our parents love Tyler more than they love me.
Yeah, they
He's
do.
the
It's
golden
really annoying.
child.
It's so dumb.
So dumb.
It's so dumb. He would, so before like the kids came in, the grandkids came in, mommy would literally put us in a text message amongst the three of us, and she would say like, "Oh, you're the Mona" to Tyler. Mona like the doll, like the favorite.
Fucker.
Now we've
So
been
dumb.
replaced, all three of
Now,
us.
honestly, I was bitter at first, but now it's just kind of like a funny joke
It's
because
funny,
mom will
yeah.
be like, "Oh, what does Mona want to eat?" And I'll respond, and it's be like, "No, it's what Tyler wants to eat." I said, "Get fucked." So rude. I came out of you.
I know. Anyways, okay, so 2019. I want to say my awakening happened. Okay, Scorpio season, Brianna's favorite season. I was prepping this. I was like, motherfucker, every Scorpio season, something happens to me. And I'm like, I can't avoid it. This one, actually, this past one in 2025, I had a really tough year. So I think maybe it was just like, okay, good graces, like you're going to be okay for this one. And it wasn't as rough as the previous. But I was like, damn, I really did go down every single Scorpio season. So in 2018, that was pretty much the start of it, where, like the whole guy situation happened. But I would say that kind of led me into 2019, and 2019 was the year in which like I really did like all of the work, and the motivation from that point was really so I could be a better manager in corporate, because I was leading a team. I was very young. I also was like, how can I show up? I was reading like all the performance self-help books from like a business perspective. And I kind of like that led me into like taking care of myself on all levels, like mentally, emotionally, spiritually, etc. Right. So I did a lot of studying in 2019, yoga, working out. Also, guys, as you're listening to these examples over the years, what I want to stress is you'll see how much of my physical body and how taking care of it as well as using it plays such a role in my intuition. So I was going to yoga like every week. I was training 5 to 6 days a week, which I still do now, just maybe like a little bit differently, not as intensely. But the way that I was moving my body, I would say from 2019 to 2022, I was really physically getting ready to hold this energy and like hold my light. And then in addition to that, I was listening to tons of spiritual podcasts. I was focused on self help as like the main topic. And honestly, I received a good amount of intuitive readings around that time, almost like my form of therapy, because I was finding, even though I was in therapy, it was easy for me to manipulate my therapist, which I know is not maybe the most ethical thing to say, but I was getting more from psychic readings than I was like in, I guess, what Nicole's line of work is. And we've talked about that on this podcast. So I'm going to pause there because it looks like Brandon has something to say, and I do have more to say about 2019, but that's so far the practical examples for that year.
I was just gonna say, other people cope with like dealing with things differently. Like therapists aren't always gonna be your things. Working out might be your thing. Going on rides, like other things can be your outlet to like cope with things. Is what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
doesn't
like you
have
and
to
I,
be therapy.
yeah, like you and I have talked, and you're like, well, and it makes sense. Like you're a double Virgo, you and a Sag, which is the traveler, the zodiac. I mean, both of them are in a lot of ways, but I would say more Sag than anything. You really enjoy long drives by yourself.
Love them. Like I can literally just, if I need to clear my mind, I'm getting in the car.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Like that is, give me my car, full tank of gas, and a good playlist. Guess what? Gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Lately on Spotify, there's two that I listen to. One, and I want people to be put on this because Tyler put it on me, and it's such a good. They're both good playlists. First one is "Shit White People Get Lit To," and
What?
and then the second one on Spotify is "White Girl Bangers."
Dude, Tyler is such a white girl.
Oh my god!
He's
If
such a white
you
girl.
tell him to sing Katy Perry, and he'll just start belting it out of the top of his lungs. It's hilarious.
Wait, is he choosing Katy Perry over T Swizzle? No, he's a
He's
Swiftie.
he's a Swiftie. Don't get me wrong. So he says the epitome of California is Katy Perry. Oh my god, what was the other one? He just told it to me and I forgot it. It wasn't Taylor Swift. Oh, I'm gonna have to text him during this and ask him, and I'll figure out what the answer was. But he told me 2 different people were the epitome of California, and I was
I
like,
feel like
actually, yeah.
I feel like he should come on the show.
Oh God, are you sure? Good thing.
Oh man,
He's a problem.
we
He's
got a
an
couple
absolute
people, like
problem.
close family members, we got like coming forth very soon. So yeah, I feel like this
Mm-hmm.
just makes sense for him too. I think he'd love it. Anyways,
Yeah,
he's a
maybe we'll see.
he's a
Let us
Leo.
know if you want him to come on because
Yeah,
actually he's really intuitive and he doesn't like to admit it.
no, he doesn't. He like runs from this, which I think is really funny, but you know, naturally he's got it.
Yeah, it's actually terrifying.
Yeah, totally. Anyways, Tyler, Leo and hiding. He's a Sag, by the way. So, in addition, in 2019, I was also journaling a lot. I have my journals actually with me. I was looking back. I was like, damn, it's so fun to go back. Also, like at looking at old photos as well, and just kind of like it's like the same feeling when you look or you listen to a certain song and it like throws you back into like 5 years from that point before then, or it's like a feeling of nostalgia.
Or if you
And
see lip glosses and it takes you back to your
bitch,
childhood.
bitch. Okay, so okay, fuck. Okay, 16. We're good. We're only 16 minutes in. So they Brianna, the family, stepdad, husband's mom, like they're remodeling the garage I used to park my car in, and there was tons of our childhood belongings there. And we literally came across this old Smucker's lip gloss. I posted about this on my personal page, on a story. Smucker's lip gloss from like 20 years ago, and like got a whiff of it, and it was like transporting you back to the early 2000s. And I was like, oh my God, my childhood.
When I smelt it, I was like, oh my God, this has not changed. Do they still have
I don't
Smuckers?
think so.
Oh, I'm gonna look it up. I think they might. Now that I think about
I
it,
don't think so. Yeah.
I wonder if it's
So,
still this. Obviously, it can't be the same formula, so I don't think the
no.
scent is going to be the same. But oh my God, nostalgia right there.
The nostalgia for sure.
Uh
So,
huh.
I was journaling a lot, both morning and the evening, and it was a lot of like what I was grateful for and what synchronicities were coming forth for me. Like I was noticing angel numbers so many times. So the amount of times I saw 333 into like just as I was going through that first really true year. And I think here that was like the true awakening where it was really just trying to like those synchronicities were, and it was the divine, honestly, now looking back, trying to catch my attention and cementing that there really is another life beyond this reality. And I think the part of and the main point of that awakening in that year was almost to like elevate my vibration through gratitude, because when you're grateful, you can manifest and attract so much more to you very quickly. In addition, in 2019, you guys, I lost 10 to 15 pounds of fat. It was crazy in 2019. And I think from that point onward, it was like I lost so much fat, and then I put on just as much of the fat that I lost in muscle from 2020 to 2022. And it was in that period of time when I was like, oh, like weightlifting, taking care of your physical body is so spiritual. And I was also training for the LA Marathon at that time. And that's actually how I met Yvette. Like she was my masseuse, believe it or not. So she was helping me, like she was giving me massages almost on the weekly as I was getting ready for that nearly 30-mile run. And that whole cyclical period of time where I was just literally like training my physical body, I was literally getting ready to do this work. Now looking back, isn't that wild?
That is wild. I didn't know that's how you met Yvette. That's pretty
Mm.
cool.
Yeah, I'm at the chiropractor office.
Hmm.
So 2020, moving forward, it was the first year where I was doing a lot of sacral chakra specifically. And this was all again through my physical body. And this was like the year that all the shit hit the fan when I was at corporate, right? I also had started doing weekly acupuncture for my ovaries because I've had issues in that area. And my health insurance at the time actually paid for it. So I was seeing Yvette once a week, and then I was seeing Dr. Pavers, who we've also had on the show, throughout that period of time. And it was in that year that I also had the prediction that I would be leaving that job kind of in the relative like future. So I was not happy. This bitch was not happy, and I was holding on to a lot of anger. And I was just doing the most to ensure that my body didn't hold on to it and it didn't take the hit. And let me tell you guys, like I was so rigid. I did not play about my self-care this year. I mean I never do, but that year it was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like boom, 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 nonstop for at least 10 months. And it was a year that I invested really in myself quite a bit. And mind you, I also was in a really, really stressful management position at the time. And I always approach what I do, especially now, reading the energy that I do, as like I view myself as a spiritual athlete, honestly. And I always ask myself, like, how can I show up to be well resourced and be the best version of myself? And what does that look like? And what does that require from a self care, self improvement perspective? And again, like at this point, I was still kind of operating from like, how can I be the best corporate employee, right? The best manager, the best leader. But what I think the ambition I had then, it's still very similar, but the reasons in which I was going after it are very different because now I'm looking at it as like, how can I be the most connected and the most expanded in consciousness? Whereas before it was all performance based, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I remember you being very heavily into taking care of yourself those years. Like,
hmm
very heavily into it.
I mean, you're the one that told me to start like lifting heavy, and like, dude, the way that like my body changed like that, I was like, damn, like, can we go back
Yeah.
to that?
Our we are very fortunate to have really good genes because our muscle mass is unreal. Like, we
hmm
easily have 100 pounds of muscle
We do.
at any given time, even if we are like super skinny, overweight, like any time we have so much muscle. And
hmm
we're really fortunate for that too, because people would kill for that.
Yeah, it's not. It sounds arrogant, but we don't mean it this way. Like, it's not tough for us to put it on.
No, not at all. Like, we are very much a, hey, do what you got to do. You're going to do it type of person.
Yeah. Okay, so I was going to say, moving on to 2021, I think there's a term for this, Brie. It's called mesomorphic body types. So I'm pretty sure that's what we have.
Mesomorphic?
Mesomorphic, yeah. Oh my God, look at this hair. Guys, if you watch YouTube, you get the most
She's
out
a
of us.
wreck,
She's a
guys.
it's literally, I don't even give a fuck. I don't care.
Dude, train wreck.
Train wreck. And then I was like, fuck it. Like, we're going to get on a bike, get sweaty. I'm going to go train. Like, I'm probably going to, I don't know. I don't like training past 12 o'clock in the day. It's too late for me. But it's fine. I don't have anything else to do besides get ready for the week. So, yeah, mesomorphic body types. Getting to 2021. So, by this point, I didn't give a fuck about my corporate job. I was like, I don't care. I'm there for the cash. You guys fucked me over. I'm going to fuck you guys over. And I just took it. I didn't care. Which by the way, where I'm at in my process now, I don't think I would be allowed to be in a very strict 9 to 5 work environment. And when I say allowed, I mean that more from like the divine, because the energy work that I'm doing and the light that I'm carrying, there becomes a point where that type of environment isn't aligned for you. And I think that is part of the reason in which 2025 was so uncomfortable for me, because I was also realizing like, oh shit, like you're probably not going back to that. We were having dinner the other night, and we had just recently had a family yard sale, and Tyler was like, yeah, we just get rid of all your clothes. Like, you're not going back to fucking corporate. And, I thought it was funny because like me and mom are very much hoarders. We both have Mars and Taurus. So materialistic possessions very much like probably our shadow side. But I think part of the reason that I was grieving without really understanding what I was grieving in 2025 is like, oh, like everything you've worked so hard for, at least that version of yourself that you thought you were going to be, what you went to school for, what you saw mom do, like you're grieving that because your life is going to look a lot different moving forward. And it does.
Yeah, absolutely. You and mom definitely have a harder time of letting things go.
Yeah. You and dad don't.
Hell no.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm. Not even a little bit. If I haven't used it in 2 years, guess what? Bye.
Yeah. So 2021 was very much the year I was studying. I was in deep application of what I was learning. I started reading for free in this year. I was learning astrology classes the entire year. I was in classes, enrolled in them. I was learning tarot. I actually taught myself tarot. I definitely think that's like a past life gift. I was taking random one-off workshops from whoever's like profile had caught my attention on Instagram, while literally physically heavy lifting. So again, there's that physical. This is the year I was working as a physical trainer, teaching classes. I think in one night, and I worked multiple nights a week, I had trained like over 100 girls a night. It was wild.
Yeah, because you did a few classes back to back. So yeah, I think you
hmm
did
Yep.
easily.
Totally. And that was also the year that multiple psychics had told me I was psychic, and so I did a really good job of, like I don't think very many people around me knew I was actually really losing it internally. I mean, everyone knew it was a hard year, but internally, that borderline psychosis looking back, I don't think people really had a solid idea of what I was going on. That was the year that mirrored most closely to 2025, where I was like, "Oh my god, I'm fucking losing it." Actually, I have to go back and that was a 5 year and this is a 9 year. Ugh. Yeah, okay, for me. Um, that was actually a 5 year for me, and then this was a 5 year in the collective, and this is a 9 year. So I'm a life path 4, friends, in numerology. Ones don't do well for me, nines don't do well for me, and fives are really tough years for me too. So yay. But I looking back, I was like, dude, like I know I want to do this business and I know that this is what's meant for me, but I was so terrified of being seen and coming out and being viewed, even though on the other side of it, it's been nothing but beautiful. And I think, and one of the predictions I had received was that I was told that if I didn't live my truth as an intuitive, I was going to get super sick. And I was like, I just knew that to be true. And I knew that my physical body was like, it was holding on to a lot. And it was the first year that I started really thinking seriously. It's like, okay, what would your life look like? And what would you do if you were to move forward and not be in like the corporate 9 to 5 setting? And it was the year where I was like, okay, like if I'm going to do this, you guys, much like I did, much like the conversation I had with my guides about moving to San Diego, I need a remote job. It needs to be flexible and I need this, this, and this. And I actually ended up getting all of that. And then I ended up working that remote job from 2022 to 2025 while I was building my business. So, all this to say, we still have a couple more years to get through. I'm very excited to see what 2026 looks like, looking back and like being like, oh, like it makes sense. I've been being prepped for something, if that, you know, relates.
Yeah, it relates.
Yeah.
Absolutely relates.
Yeah. I was also off of Instagram from 2019 to 2021, and I do think that supported my nervous system because looking back, like now when I look at my phone, especially before I go to bed, I'm like, "Oh my god, this is doing something to my brain," which is also the worst time to do that, by the way, but I can feel like how Instagram affects my nervous system.
Dude, doom scrolling is so bad for you, and yet
It
I am very affected by it.
Brianna,
It's so
so
bad,
what
but I
Brandon and
do
I
it.
like
I
to
don't care.
do it'll be like 10:30 at night and I'm sending Brandon fucking TikTok reels.
She's like, "Oh, the when we say we're going to bed, we say we go memes." So I was like, "I thought you went memes, but no, here she is, 10:30, sending me TikToks, and I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? Go to sleep."
It's actually been reversed. So for like at least 4 years, I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go train, literally. And now Brandon's the one that's up early, and I'm not.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'm usually up no later than 7 o'clock because of my son or earlier. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to text Gabby and see if she wants to do anything. And she's like, I'm just getting out of bed. And I'm like, Gabby, it's 9 o'clock. I've been up for 2 hours already.
The last 3 weekends of this month, do you know how long I've slept every Saturday? Like 12 hours a day. It's crazy.
I wish. But then again, now if I get any more than like 7 hours of sleep, I'm so grouchy. So I'm like, I found my peak. I found like my perfect amount of sleep. If I get any more, it's awful. If I get any
Also, I just
less,
need people
it's
to
awful.
know Brianna was the biggest napper before having a baby.
Guys, I used to sleep in until 2 p.m. Like I kid
Mm-hmm.
you not. But then again, I was out until probably, I don't know, like 1 all the time.
Still like 10, 11 hours.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I love sleep. I wish I can sleep more, but I can't anymore. But back then, sleeping in until like 1, noon, 2. I'd wake up and everybody's gone from the house because they're all working. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't start work until later. So I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah, literally. So the roles have changed. So, anyways, I do feel better though when I get up earlier because there's more to do in the day and you can get more out of your day. But yeah, 2022, I started meditation, had a huge resistance to meditation. So I've only been meditating really since 2022, you guys. And usually when I have a resistance to doing something, it typically means I need to do it. but I knew that that was going to take me to the next level. I was still taking astrology classes and I studied all the modalities that I now teach, so numerology, tarot, astrology. It was also the year that I've met all of my spiritual girlfriends that have now since been featured on this show. And in 2022, after I had seriously learned astrology and I felt like I had it down, I started doing daily card pulls and taught myself the tarot. And I started connecting my third eye to the application of that system. And in the second half of 2022, I also meditated for 100 days straight. And that really took me to the next level, which again, me finishing that 100-day streak actually happened in Scorpio season. Of course.
Apparently, Scorpio. You like Scorpios. That's because of the water sign, so makes sense.
We vibe. At the end of that, though, guess what had happened? I broke out in hives and I hemorrhaged. It was my first hemorrhage. I don't know. I haven't said this. I've hemorrhaged twice, but the second time I actually ended up in the hospital. And I hemorrhaged after my Reiki placement in November of again Scorpio season of that year. I didn't realize what was happening, but like looking back, I was like, oh, I forgot about how much your physical body goes through doing this work. And I think that's a little bit of like what I guess I'm calling out dad in this episode. But I think that's a little bit of like dad doesn't see is like how much it takes on your body and like how I'm not willing to sacrifice certain elements of my health. And also me and my dad live together, so we're learning a lot about one another, just so everyone knows. We're mirrors, that's for damn sure.
Let me tell you, sometimes I'm like, God, you two are just ridiculous. Gabby has to have a dopamine drop, so she likes to start arguments. So I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Do I though?
Yes, you do.
I'm not conscious to me starting it, by the way.
I know you're not. You just pick one, and I'm like, oh, she needs a dopamine drop, of course. So she wants to pick an argument. I do it too sometimes.
You do it with
Everybody
mom.
does it.
No, you do it with me too.
I do it with everybody.
Yeah.
The worst person that gets it is Tyler.
It's Tyler.
Absolutely. I literally got mad at him one morning and he's like, get in the fucking car. We're going to get coffee and we're going to get you something to eat. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I was wrong.
That and you're like, you're going to get your wiener sucked later, dude.
Pretty much. Yeah. Exactly.
Oh my God. Fucking Tyler. So, okay, at this time, my body fluctuating with weight was crazy. So remember, 2019 to 2022, I looked phenomenal, you guys. Like, I think I looked the best I had looked since college. And guess what? The numerology for those years are coming up on me again. And I'm locking in right now, so it's over for all you bitches. Just kidding.
Where it's like that thing, it's like, please God, if I get skinny one more time, I won't fuck it up.
Okay, it is fucking harder in your 30s though. Like there is a distinct change that no one tells you about.
There really is. It's awful.
Oh
it's
man,
good, but it's awful.
It's awful, but you know what, hoes? Just kidding. Kind of. I still fit into the same pants from 10 years ago, so fuck with me. Okay. Brianna's like, okay, Gabby, shut the fuck up.
I need to go grab them and see how stretchy they are. Isn't that jeggings, bitch?
Bitch. Anyways, okay, so I put on weight at this time, right? Like the fluctuation was wild and it was 100% related to adrenal fatigue. I remember doing a reading it was like literally 3 years ago this month. I had offered a Black Friday sale and I did like 3 or 4 readings back to back, right? Because in my mind, I was building that stamina and I just remember feeling like, bitch, this is adrenal fatigue. So I know exactly what that feels like. And in that month, November, December, we had a death in the family. And so that's actually when the mediumship came in. And that was the next leg of my journey into 2023. So I had done all this meditation, this prep work for my physical body, was studying. And then that kind of took me to the next thing, which was mediumship in 2023. 2023, this was the year that I fucking killed it. I was like, I'm going for it in my business. And I did. And I really feel like I established, I think, a certain frequency level, a certain physical level, and I also built the like foundation for my business and the people that like I work with to this day. So I studied mediumship that entire year from like January to December. I did over 100 readings. We launched this podcast, and I was working a full-time job while still working in clinical research. Ugh. Still learning a lot as well with the podcast, because everyone that we had on the show is really just like true expert at what they do in their field. And all I did in 2023 was work. Like I put my head down and I just went for it. And I think in preparation for all of those 100 plus readings that I did, I was also meditating 30 to 60 minutes before while also being in a meditative state while performing those readings. I don't want to say performing, when I was conducting those readings actually. And I really haven't stopped meditating since 2022, but I found that on the other side of that year-long commitment, I can receive messages on the spot now because I've just been doing it for so long. And because that year was non-fucking stop, I knew I needed to build the business that I built. I feel like that year was the heavy lifting year, but I paid a price for it because at the end of it in November, and it was actually October, still eclipse season. It was eclipse season and it was Scorpio season by this point. I ended up hospitalized with my second hemorrhage, and that was when I actually needed to get a blood transfusion. So, anytime, my friends, you guys look at the pictures for this podcast, for the printing, just know I was wearing a huge diaper and literally bleeding out as we were taking that.
Yep, that was wild. Yeah, that one was bad.
That was bad.
I was like, Gabby, you need to go to the hospital. You're laying on the floor and you're like white.
I passed out at the Vons, passed out at home, passed out in the emergency room, was in there for 12 hours. Mom had to wipe my asshole because I could not move. Like, it was bad. Not that, like, I took a shit or anything, but, like, she literally had to wipe me because I was so not there.
Well, yeah, you can't do anything. Like when I hemorrhaged while giving or after giving birth, I couldn't do anything. I could not lift my arms. I was out of it.
It's so bad.
Mm-hmm.
So 2023, guys, again, physical body. We've got 2 more years. 2024. I'd done so much work in 2023 that I was just like, I'm just going to coast. Like, I knew I needed to invest in my personal life at this point, and I didn't want to repeat how balls to the walls I went in 2023. But I had also realized that I had built stamina and I raised my frequency to a point where I could really just show up for what I had built and show up for what my business had looked like at that point. And on a personal level, I knew what I was seeking was ascension. And I didn't know what that required, but I knew that it was me going inward and doing the next level of shadow work. And I think now looking back, and I remember saying it, and I said this in last week's episode too. I was like, guys, if I get this, and this in San Diego, like, I will move and do the work. And you guys know what 2025 was if you listen to the last year in review episode. But I moved to San Diego in Scorpio season of 24. So I'm just like, every year, man, like, it just takes me down. And I knew that in order to take what I was doing to the next level, I had to go inward. So I'm doing all of this work, right? But really, like, like the next level of like where I'm at now in my process and being the reader that I am, I wouldn't have attacked it or been able to get to that point had I not done the 12 plus months of shadow work that I just finished. Okay. And then 2025, last but not least, this was the year that I started my shamanism journey in December of 24 after I had moved. And my menteeship has looked like a lot of subconscious reprogramming. And I think maybe I'll share on another episode exactly what I did in terms of like what limiting beliefs I've worked through and where they came from. But I can definitely say that in 2025, after multiple years of being on this path, it was the first real year that I actually like worked with my subconscious mind and my limiting beliefs and like reprogramming that. And I did my inner child work, and it was a bitch. I did nothing but cry. I did a lot of EFT tapping. I did a lot of subconscious reprogramming. I did many constellations with Yvette. And I think this year also just taught me that this is like, I need more downtime than ever. Like, I can't be operating the way I was in 2021, 2022, especially 2023 again, and I won't, because I was building the foundation of a business. So that's what it looked like and it needed to be at that time. But you're never going to find what you're looking for by doing, but rather just being. So, like, doing nothing, the downtime is so critical for this type of work if this is what you want to be doing from a sustainable standpoint. And I started supporting others in their process this year from a mentorship perspective. And I don't think there's any way I could have done that to the level I'm doing that now in the emergence program without having done my shadow work and building the confidence that I have as a reader and an intuitive had I not gone through the experience in the years that you just heard about. And I think moving into 2026, I'm going to be more imbalanced than ever before. And I don't want to ever become distracted to where working and building the business takes away from me and my process and me connecting and expanding my divinity. And I've come across a lot of intuitives in this space that are phenomenal business people, but they compromise their intuition and their connection, and that's just never going to be me.
Mic drop.
So that's what I've done, guys. Lots of basic things.
Things.
¿Qué piensas, Brianna?
Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. I'm going to have to edit out all of the background noise because we live on a busy street.
Pew pew. Do you know this?
Abby!
I'm wearing Victoria's Secret leggings that I purchased in college, and then this Nicole gave to me over 10 years ago. So, bitch, I still got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a hoarder.
I'm a hoarder. Okay, let's do some card pulls. I'm pulling from the Healing Waters deck. We hope you enjoyed, guys. Listen to the next 2 episodes. They're going to be fun. Pew pew.
Healing Waters.
Okay. Okay, the ripple effect. Part of something bigger. Details are taken care of. Motherfucker. Wow, can't talk.
Clearly.
Pretty much, don't worry about the how. It's taken care of it by the divine. That's what that card means. This was fun. Thanks, Brie Brie. Love you guys. Make sure you guys take advantage of my year ahead readings and sign up for my flow desk, emails, sign up for all the things, guys. We love you.
All the things.
Labor of Love. Podcast is changing in 2026. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.